Good evening, everybody. First, I want to say, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakar Kadash, which means that I'm giving all honor and glory to the Most High, God of our fathers, in the name of His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and in the name of the Holy Spirit. So today, I'm just going to go over a couple of scriptures and a couple of things that's happening in the earth. As far as what's going on with this coronavirus. Could be man-made, could be a biological weapon, could be a hoax, could be what some people think it's the implementation of 5G. But we do know that from the reports that people are actually dying from this. So I was looking at an article and I thought this was kind of interesting that they're pointing the finger, so to speak. And I'm going to pull this article up here. They're pointing the finger, so to speak, to point out that, let me refresh this, to point out that the cases are going to rise basically in the ghetto, in the poor areas. And they actually point out races, right? This is an article in USA Today. If I can get my computer to pull it up. Must have a lot of ads on that page. USA Today, of course, I'm sure. So the title of this article is "Health Issues for Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans May Cause Coronavirus to Ravage Communities." Right? So basically what they're saying is that so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are already having health issues. And if the virus is entered into your areas, then those health issues are going to make the virus widespread throughout your neighborhoods and areas, right? So I'm just going to read just a little bit of this article. I think they just got so many ads on here. It says Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which it just baffles me that they're actually pointing out, like they're targeting us, like, you know. So let me keep reading. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans have many underlying health conditions, including asthma, heart disease, that could make them more vulnerable to complications from the coronavirus, leaving advocates, lawmakers, and public health experts worried these long marginalized communities won't get equal access to tests and treatment as the outbreak spreads. The virus is an equal opportunity crisis, but the impact and the burden of it is not going to be shared equally, said Dr. Ashwin Vasan, a public health expert and assistant professor at Columbia University in New York City. Like most things in society, it's going to be regressive. It's going to be felt disproportionately by the poor, the vulnerable, and marginalized. And obviously, that falls down in this country on communities of color, right? Everything always falls down on communities of color. So I don't believe that they're going to be helping us. More than likely, this is just a call to action for them to be doing something to us. So, you know, I don't see it. And it's not a color issue right now. This is more of something that's happening around the world, and the Most High is cleansing. This is Christ, Yahushua, whom the world calls Jesus, um, giving the disciples a prophecy, right? And these prophecies are being fulfilled as we speak. And especially now, this is the time of the Passover. Around the same time Christ, or Yahushua HaMashiach, died, around the same time that Yahushua was born, right? Around the same time that Moses led the people out of Egypt, right? Passover. So I'm just going to read a few verses here. Verse 6, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So let's start there with the wars and rumors of wars. I just pulled this up just to show what's going on over in the Middle East. Since the coronavirus has taken over the news media, you're not seeing anything else that's happening. So this is a Syrian civil war map, right? In the Bible, it says that in the end, that the nations would be fighting in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, which is from Syria on down, right? That's the Valley of Jehoshaphat, or the Valley of Decision, right? So this has the dates here. Just yesterday, March 31st, heavy clashes between the Syrian Democratic uh, Army, right? And several soldiers of the Syrian, let me click on this so we can see what it says. Democratic forces were killed during clashes north of Ain Issa, right? Let's click on this one. Several Turkish-backed jihadists, including their commander, were killed during clashes north of Ain Issa, right? Turkish army-backed jihadists are shelling al-Arima countryside. You can go down the list here, and you can see that there is war going on. While everyone is worried about the coronavirus, there's war still going on in the Valley of Decision that the scriptures talk about, in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, all right now. So that's the wars and rumors of wars. Then verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. In the scriptures, nation is actually your descendancy. If you're an Israelite, that's your nation. That's why after it says nation, it says kingdom, because we use the word nation to mean what country you live in, but the kingdom is actually what country you live in. This means that there will be race wars. So right now, I've seen posts where the Klan and skinheads, or the white supremacist uh, factions across this country, are going to use the coronavirus as a weapon against minorities, just like we just read in that article, right? But that hasn't fully come to fruition yet. At least it's not prevalent, or we can't see it yet, right? But kingdom against kingdom, I just showed you the wars. So the U.S. is still over there too as well. They pulled some troops out, but not all troops. There are still factions of the U.S. over there. Russia's over there fighting. Turkey and a lot of the other Middle East countries. They're all fighting. So it says, and there shall be famines. So let's see, famines. What we got here? Swarms of locusts in Africa since January, right? It says locust swarms are invading Africa. Here's how NASA satellites can help stop them. Locust swarm from ground vegetation in northern Kenya on January 22nd. Billions of locusts have been swarming throughout eastern Africa for months, ravaging crops and threatening the food source for millions of people in the region. Now, this goes all the way from Kenya on up to Mecca, because Mecca is getting hit with these locusts as well. So that's in what, Saudi Arabia. So it's going from East Africa on up to Saudi Arabia, close to the Valley of Jehoshaphat. Famine. They're eating all the crops. Look at all these. Look at this. Look at all these bugs destroying all the crops, right? What does this say? Coronavirus makes it harder to battle swarms of locusts ravaging Africa. And that was just yesterday. So this says January, but this was yesterday, a day ago. See, Fox News 1 day ago, right? 7 hours ago. Locust swarms are invading Africa. Here's how NASA satellites can help stop them. So that's this right here, right? Inside the fight against new locust swarms in East Africa 2 days ago. It's Thomson Reuters Foundation. It's Reuters, right? So there are famines going on right now. So all this stuff is happening right now in this time. Okay, so famines. We have famines, and then it says, and pestilences. So pestilences would be this virus, going on. And it's not just this virus. You have people still catching the seasonal flu as well, you know. So people die from the flu too. They die from the flu just as fast as they die from a coronavirus, depending on their health. So you have that, and then it says, and earthquakes in diverse places. So I pulled this up. This is, I think, the U.S. Geological Survey website. Let's see if I can get it to pull back up. Just refresh the page. So all this stuff is going on right now. Right now. Okay, so what happened to it? So this is a map. This is a world map. Continue anyway. This is a world map of the U.S. Geological Survey showing earthquakes around the world, right? And I clicked on 7 days, all magnitudes. So some are small, and then if you look at the red line, that's a fault line. Like we know California has, this is America here, so we know California has that fault line, right? So this is the fault line, the red lines. So we know that earthquakes come on these red lines, right? But if you look away from that, there are no red lines over here. Why are there earthquakes over here in these areas? There was just an earthquake a couple of days ago in Idaho. I think it was like 6.5 on the Richter scale, right? So why are there earthquakes all around here? That's the diverse places. There's an earthquake up here. What is this, Greenland or Iceland or something? All right? Check that out. Here in Africa, no fault line right there. That was in Mozambique, 4.8. So there are earthquakes going on right now that usually don't happen. We're having continuous earthquakes every single day. Huge earthquakes in some places every single day. And this has been going on for the past, I think for the past like year, 9 months to a year. Not just the earthquakes on these fault lines, but away from the fault lines. Like, where is this? Where is this? China, 5.3. That was today. That was actually on the first. Well, yesterday, because it's like 12 o'clock here. So yeah, 5.3. No fault line right there. So prophecy is being fulfilled in this world, and if you are a believer, you don't really have to be a believer, but I've seen some videos where brothers are coming out of the woodwork saying that they used to be atheists, but now they're seeing different from what they actually read in the scriptures that is coming to pass. Right? So if you are a believer, this is all you need to do right now. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, 13, and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. You need to fear the Most High because he is cleansing this world. It's time, almost time for judgment. No man knows the day or the hour, but he gives signs, and he gave prophecy. Prophecy is being fulfilled. So those signs are happening right now. The signs lead up to judgment. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Repent and come back to the Most High. Right? So I also wanted to show this article as well. I think this was done yesterday as well, where a guy was going in because there are rumors that black people are immune. Some people say that black people are immune. Some people say that, you know, African Americans or blacks can't get the coronavirus, which is not true. It's not true. It's not true. If you are, which of course, me myself, if you are an Israelite by bloodline, Hebrew, then just keep the faith and keep the commandments. Because 2/3 are not going to make it. So if he's wiping out these other nations with this virus, with this pestilence, then a lot of our people are not going to make it. A lot of the 12 tribes aren't going to make it. 2/3 are not going to make it. So they haven't really done a by race comparison. And I wonder why, because most times when things happen, they usually do a race comparison. But in Illinois, they did, they released some data, right? So this guy did an article, and I actually clicked on where it says release some racial data. So this is Illinois public health officials announced 488 new cases. This was last week, a few days ago, 27th of March. And confirmed cases. It's not telling you who actually died by race, but it's telling you the cases by race, by percentage. So it says that the whites are 39% of the confirmed cases. Blacks are 28% of confirmed cases in Illinois. 20% were left blank. So that could be white or black or Hispanic or Asian or who knows. So 20%, they don't even know what their ethnicity was. And down here it says Hispanic or Latino, 7%. So in the article, he gives a breakdown of how many people, or what's the population of per race in Illinois. It says 14.6% of the state population is African American. So that's 28% of the confirmed cases, right? So that's a third of the African American population that's catching the coronavirus in that particular state, or that have caught the coronavirus. Then you got white people. They make up 76% of Illinois' population, and they're at 39% of confirmed cases. So they're closer to half. They're over a third of their population that's catching the coronavirus. Latinos make up 17.4% of the state population in Illinois. So 7% of them, only 7% of them, that's not even a third. And they didn't get any information about the Native Americans. The only reason I'm pointing this out is because of the first article I showed, where they pointed out Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Same thing that most of us Hebrews talk about, that the actual Hebrews, the 12 tribes, are Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? Say that all the time. So I'm going to read some more prophecy in the book of Isaiah, right? About the Most High and his judgments. For he bringeth down them, start at verse 5. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high, the lofty city, he layeth it low. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it even to the dust. The foot shall tread it down, even the feet of the poor, and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness. Thou, most upright, dost weigh the path of the just. Yea, in the way of thy judgments, O Lord, have we waited for thee. The desire of our soul is to thy name and to the remembrance of thee. See, we are now remembering who we are, because we were given a spirit of stupor, sleep, right? Verse 9, with my soul have I desired thee in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness? That's a rhetorical question. The Most High showed favor to the wicked. Would he learn righteousness? No. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. The Lord, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see, but they shall see and be ashamed for their envy at the people. Yea, the fire of thine enemies shall devour them. Lord, thou wilt ordain peace for us, for thou also hast wrought all our works in us. O Lord our God, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us. That means that we were in captivity. But by thee only will we make mention of thy name. They are dead, they shall not live. They are deceased, they shall not rise. Therefore hast thou visited and destroyed them, and made all their memory to perish. Thou hast increased the nation, O Lord. Thou hast increased the nation. Thou art glorified. Thou hast removed it far unto all the ends of the earth, because the Most High scattered his chosen people to the ends of the earth, the four corners of the earth, into all nations. And now we number the sands of the sea. So I don't believe that we are a minority. They just call us that. I don't believe the percentages or the numbers. Verse 16,
Lord, in trouble have they visited thee. They poured out a prayer when thy chastening was upon them. Like as a woman with child that draweth near the time of her delivery is in pain and crieth out in her pangs, so have we been in thy sight, O Lord. We have been with child. We have been in pain. We have, as it were, brought forth wind. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. Thy dead men shall live. Together with my dead body shall they arise, and awake and sing, ye that dwell in the dust. For thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpast. For behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain. So they can't hide anymore. They can't hide the fact that they have destroyed all of these children of the Most High. Millions brought on slave ships. Millions died. Millions were given smallpox, and lands were taken from North, Central, and South America. Thousands that were enslaved over in Asia, East India. Thousands enslaved by the Arabs, by the Ishmaelites in Africa, and given another way of to praise the Most High by what they think it's supposed to be. Yet in their own book, it says that the children of Israel are God's chosen. So you can't hide anymore. They can't hide anymore. It's over. It's a wrap. Keep the commandments and live if you are children of Yasharal or Israel. Keep the commandments and live. Fear not of this pestilence, for it must come to pass. Fear not. Keep the commandments and live. Stop eating abominable foods. Live righteously. Put the guns down. Stop coveting your brother's wives. Stop committing adultery. Stop being homosexuals. Stop stealing from your people when the enemy is stealing everything from you. The real enemies. The real enemies are the Most High, as King David prophesied in Psalms 83. The other nations that oppress you daily, that you spend your money and give your money to for things. Yet you forget the Most High. 2/3 of you won't make it. And I pray I am in the 1/3. I pray every day that I'm in the 1/3, that my family is in the 1/3, that my people are in the 1/3, that I can share my knowledge and wisdom that the Most High has given me and turned me a complete 180 in my life, that I can share it with someone else that I know is an Israelite, that I know is Yasharal. If I can just save one person from themselves, then I'm good. Stay in the spirit, for their spirits will come out. If you stay in the spirit, you'll see the spirits on these people's faces. You'll hear it in their words. Stay in the spirit. Eat right. Keep the commandments and live. If you're doing Passover, do Passover. Don't eat any unleavened bread. Find you some lamb, bitter herbs. Keep the holy days, not these pagan holidays. Keep the commandments and live. The Most High lives. He shows his power in the earth. Right now, he's showing his power in the earth. He's showing his power in the earth. He's showing his power in the earth. That's all I got to say. Kwam Yasharala.